On a crisp morning in New Delhi, October 31st, 1984, a woman strides confidently through her garden, her sari rustling in the breeze. She's India's Iron Lady, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, a name that echoes power and resilience across a nation of a billion dreams. But, as she walks toward an interview with a British journalist, unaware of the danger lurking just steps away, two men, her own bodyguards, raise their weapons. Gunshots shatter the calm. Indira Gandhi crumples to the ground, betrayed by those sworn to protect her. This is the story of a leader who shaped India, a decision that sparked fury, and a betrayal that plunged a country into chaos. Indira Gandhi was not just any leader. She was the first female Prime Minister of India, a position she held with a mix of triumphs and controversies. Born on November 19, 1917, in Prayagraj, she was the daughter of Jawaharlal Nehru, the man who led India to independence and became its first prime minister. Growing up in a politically charged environment, Indira was involved in the independence movement from a young age. She frequently interacted with leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and was shaped by the fiery debates and struggles for freedom. Her personal life was as complex as her political career. In 1942, she married Feroz Gandhi, a Parsi, against her family's wishes. They had two sons, Rajiv and Sanjay. But their marriage was strained by Feroz's affairs and Indira's growing political commitments. They separated in 1958, and Feroz died in 1960, leaving Indira to navigate both motherhood and her burgeoning political role. After her father's death in 1964, Indira entered politics more formally, becoming Prime Minister in 1966 following the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri. She quickly proved herself, leading India to victory in the 1971 war against Pakistan, which resulted in the creation of Bangladesh. This triumph earned her widespread acclaim and the nickname Iron Lady. However, her rule was not without challenges. Internal party dissent and economic issues plagued her tenure. In 1975, facing mounting opposition and allegations of corruption, Indira made a shocking move. She declared a state of emergency. Civil rights were suspended, press censorship was imposed, and her opponents were imprisoned. This period, lasting until 1977, was marked by human rights abuses, including forced sterilizations. The emergency tarnished her image, and she was voted out of power in 1977. But Indira was resilient. She clawed her way back, winning the elections in 1980. By the early 1980s, trouble was brewing in the northern state of Punjab. Sikhs, a proud religious community, were growing restless. Some demanded greater autonomy, while others, led by Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, a radical preacher, called for a separate state called Khalistan. Bhindranwale and his armed followers turned the Golden Temple in Amritsar, the holiest Sikh shrine, into their stronghold. From there, they orchestrated violence, including bombings and assassinations, spreading fear across Punjab. In June 1984, Indira Gandhi made a fateful decision. She ordered Operation Blue Star. Indian troops, equipped with tanks and heavy artillery, stormed the Golden Temple to flush out Bhindranwale and his militants. The operation was brutal. Bullets flew, explosions rocked the sacred site, and when the dust settled, hundreds lay dead, militants, soldiers, and innocent pilgrims. The temple was scarred, its golden domes pocked with bullet holes, its sacred pools stained with blood. Bhindranwale was killed, but the cost was immense. To many Sikhs, this was not just an attack on militants, but an assault on their faith. Across Punjab and beyond, anger boiled over. Protests erupted and whispers of revenge filled the air. Intelligence reports warned that Indira's life was in danger, particularly from the Sikh community. Her security team recommended removing Sikh bodyguards, but she refused, saying, "I won't judge them by their religion." It was a noble stand, but it would prove fatal. On October 31st, 1984, Indira woke early at her home on 1 Safdarjung Road. At 66, her hair streaked with gray, she still commanded respect. She was set to meet Peter Ustinov, a British journalist, for a TV interview. As she walked through her garden, a quiet path lined with flowers, her bodyguards, Bent Singh and Satwant Singh, both Sikhs, accompanied her. Bent, 40, was a seasoned officer and a father. Satwant, 22, was newer and quieter. Both had served her loyally, or so she thought. Suddenly, Bent pulled his revolver and fired point-blank shots into her. Before she could react, Satwant unloaded his submachine gun, bullets tearing through her body. She collapsed, blood pooling on the ground. Chaos exploded around her. Other guards rushed in, shouting, guns drawn. Bent was shot dead on the spot by his colleagues. Satwant, wounded, was dragged away. Servants and aides scrambled to help Indira, lifting her limp form into a car. Tires screeched as they raced to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, just miles away. Doctors fought to save her, but the wounds were too many, too deep. At 2:20 p.m., Indira Gandhi was declared dead. India froze. Radios crackled with the news, and a nation gasped. She had been a giant, loved by some, feared by others, but no one imagined this end. Yet the tragedy was only beginning. In Delhi's streets, rage ignited. Rumors spread that Sikhs were to blame, and mobs formed. Ordinary people turned into killers. They hunted Sikh men, women and children. Homes burned, shops were looted, and bodies piled up. Over 3 days, thousands of Sikhs were slaughtered. Some say 3,000, others far more. The police stood by, helpless or unwilling to stop it. It was a bloodbath, a wound that still scars India today. At the hospital, Indira's family reeled. Her son Sanjay had died years earlier in a plane crash, a loss that had broken her heart. Now her other son, Rajiv, a pilot by trade and reluctant politician, stepped up. Within hours, he was sworn in as prime minister, inheriting a nation in turmoil. 3 days later, Indira's body was cremated by the Yamuna River, flames rising as world leaders like Margaret Thatcher and Leonid Brezhnev, and millions of Indians mourned. Who were the men who killed her? Bent Singh and Satwant Singh were not random guards. Bent, in his 40s, was a seasoned officer who had stood by Indira for years. Satwant, just 22, was newer. Both were Sikhs, and Operation Blue Star had hit them hard. Friends later said they felt torn, loyal to their duty, yet burning with anger over the temple's desecration. That morning, they chose vengeance. Satwant faced trial, confessing his role, and was hanged in 1989 along with Kehar Singh, accused of conspiracy. The world watched in shock. Leaders from America to Russia sent condolences, stunned by the fall of a titan who had balanced India between East and West during the Cold War. At home, questions swirled. Could the assassination have been stopped? Some say intelligence warned of a plot, but Indira brushed it off. Others whisper of a deeper conspiracy. Did more hands guide the killers? A government inquiry dug into it, but the full truth remains murky. Indira Gandhi's story doesn't end with her death. She left a legacy as tangled as India itself. She built a modern nation, launching the Green Revolution, building dams, schools, and initiating space programs. Yet her choices, like the emergency in Operation Blue Star, divided the country. Today, her name stirs pride and pain. Statues of her dot cities, her face graces stamps, but the echoes of 1984 linger in Punjab's quiet villages and Delhi's scarred streets. As the sun set on that terrible October day, India stood at a crossroads. A leader was lost, a community was shattered, and a nation faced its demons. Indira Gandhi's assassination wasn't just a betrayal by two men. It was a mirror held up to a country wrestling with its soul. Her life was bold, her death was brutal, and her story is a reminder. Even the mightiest can fall when trust turns to treachery.